I'm Micheon Aguilar here with Ty Rogers with Rogers Cowboy Supply. How are you today?
Great, you?
Good. So we're in your store, and this is a family-owned business, correct?
Correct, it is.
All right, you guys have a wide variation of Western wear and accessories. Tell us a little bit about your business and what you provide.
Well, we provide hats and boots and belts and jewelry and tack and ropes and saddles and everything you might need if you're a cowboy, you're thinking about a cowboy, you want to be a cowboy, or any aspect of Western life.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about your business. It's family-owned. How long have you guys been here?
My family's all born and raised here, so we're kind of ingrained in the community a little bit. My mom and dad both help out here all the time, and the whole crew here is just like one big family.
All right. Well, we're here to talk about fashion. So what's in style this season? What are we going to start off with?
I think we ought to start off with hats.
Okay.
It's the easiest thing to kind of take a look at, and there's a lot of neat detail work in them.
All right. I'll follow you. All right. So we're looking at hats here. Tell us a little bit about your hats.
Well, a straw hat is kind of a neat piece of equipment. It starts off, it's hand woven, the whole thing. So what happens, basically, there's a group of ladies, and they just weave pieces of straw together, and they make these huge straw sacks, and they do thousands of them, usually over the wintertime. They send them to the hat makers, and they create a straw hat out of it. They sew a sweat liner inside of it, they shape it, they put a little bit of wire in the brim so it holds together, and voila, you have an authentic straw cowboy hat.
And it looks like you have different types of these hats. So which one's in style right now?
Okay, there's some that are always in style. It's like the little black dress. That would be probably this hat. It's clean, it's classic, black band, black eyelets. This is for ventilation so it doesn't get too hot. And this is what we call a cattleman crown. This will always be in style. Right now, what's very fashionable are these square crown hats. So it's just a little more of a Texan style that's infiltrated our area. There's vent holes woven in. And remember, every one of these has to be done by hand. So it's kind of an impressive piece of artwork when you really look at it. It's also two-tone. It's got light and an ivory tone to it. So it kind of makes it just a little bit different looking hat. And then there's some older style hats like this, which is made out of palm leaf, just like off the palm trees. And they hand weave all of these, stitch them together, and this is what we call a gust style, a little bit of a bigger brim. This is great for sun protection.
All right. And I see over there you have a little shop over there with the hats. What do you do with that? The little machine that has a hat on top of it?
Let's go to the hat bar and I'll show you.
Okay. All right, Ty, so we're at this hat bar. What does this whole ensemble entail? What are we doing here?
All right, basically, when you shape up a real cowboy hat, you've got to have some tools at your disposal. First of all, you got to have your hat bar, okay? The hat bar here has got a steam head built into it. Behind this, what you can't see, I have got a 3-gallon boiler with a 5-gallon reserve on it, so I get instantaneous steam. You can come out and make these hats nice and hot. That's the trick to shaping your hat. You've got to make them hot. You already probably knew that, though.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what I do, I start off with an open crown hat. Something like this, okay? Now, we're going to make this into this. So what you do, you fire up the steamer, you get it really good and hot. So you can see, it takes a lot of juice to do this, but this is what the game entails. So you heat up the hat, and it takes quite a while, probably more than what we have here. So once you've got the hat good and hot, you can start shaping it. So I do this all by hand, okay? So the idea is that the finished product will look like this.
Okay, so as a process, you just stick your hands in to make the indent?
Correct. I just slowly work the felt, and I turn it into the shape that my customer wants.
Approximately how long does a hat take?
To shape it like this, it could be anywhere from 10 minutes to half an hour. And I can clean them up. If they're dirty, I can take and take all the dust and, trail dust and arena dirt and everything else and spiff it up. Because that's what you want to do. You want to have your hat looking nice if you're going to go to the rodeo.
Now, does every Western store have this, or How'd you get into this?
Actually, no, this is kind of a lost art. It's really more of a specialty that we do here. It's not overly common to find open crown hats for one, nor to find people that can shape them. So my staff here is extremely knowledgeable, and we can always help people out. Another piece of our equipment that we have here is this antique hat stretcher. I actually have a customer's hat on this right now. This was custom made just for him. And what this piece does is open up the sizing of the hat. So you can see this. This is no longer made, so you have to find an antique one of these, bring it into the store, which is what I've done here.
Okay. And then you just spin it, and what does it do exactly? Is it stretching it out?
Basically, it's making the hat about another size bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how long do you have to leave it on there?
I'll leave it on there for about a half an hour. The same thing. Heat it up, stretch it out. It'll stay like that.
Perfect. Now, what else do we have in fashion other than hats?
Well, we've got quite a bit. Let's go see.
All right. We're in the boot section, one of the final key components of our Western wear attire. So let's talk about the women's selection. Why did you pick these?
Well, basically, these are kind of the latest styles, something new in fashion. They're a little bit more ornate, and they're kind of fun.
So is color big this season?
Yeah, definitely. Exotic hides are always interesting. So one of the boots that I pulled out is a python. They call this a jungle python. It's actually not the most practical for everyday ranch use, but it is kind of neat. And this has the peace symbol inlaid in the tops with flower embroidery. So it's definitely a little more of a modern cowgirl kind of a take on a boot.
All right.
Square toes are definitely the big thing right now too. So as you can see, that profile for a toe and a little bit of a lower heel has actually been very hot this year. So it's a little bit different than what people think of as a normal and fashionable cowboy boot.
Now we're in the men's section. Okay, these are your top three. Why these three?
Well, one, they all have square toes. And like I said, square toe is going to be very big this year. It's a comfortable boot, especially for men, because it usually accommodates the foot a little bit better. And I've also picked two of them that are exotic or exotic looking. This is actually a caiman hide, so little alligator critter.
Wow.
And it makes a very interesting boot print. It's going to have that same heel on it. Now, this function-wise is a little bit longer base than most heels, so it grabs a stirrup a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
When a guy rides. And the lower profile on this is if you're not riding every day and you might be off your horse walking around, it's a little bit more comfortable to get around on. Now, the next boot is a very traditional heel. It's got a little lip on it so your spurs will sit just there, and a little bit of an angled heel to it. But the toe on this one, it is square, but it's a little bit higher, so it's not as drastic. This is a good stepping off point if a guy's not quite sure he wants to go the full-blown square toe. This is a good compromise.
Okay.
And then the last one that I have here for men is an anteater print boot. So it's actually cowhide, but they put this print on the top of it, so it has a really interesting pattern to it. And it's quite fun too.
Very stylish. So you were talking about here, it goes in. Is that just for the stirrup or the stirrup?
Yes, what you want to do with the boot, basically, when you ride, and why we even have heels at all, is they grab a stirrup here. Okay? So that way your foot won't slide all the way through like it would with a tennis shoe or something with no heel. So it's a safety mechanism, basically.
Oh, stylish with a purpose. All right, well, what's our next thing for our Western attire?
Let's see.
Now that we're in the belt selection, it looks like these are very ostentatious belts. What's this whole fashion statement?
Right now it's all about bling, especially for the ladies. What you want is something that's shiny, that has got lots of sparkle, it's going to catch somebody's eye. So these are the latest and greatest in women's style belts.
What about for men?
Well, men aren't all that far off either. In fact, this would be a man style belt with lots of conchos, some rawhide accents, things like that. Anything pretty much to hold your pants up will do, but if you really want to be styling, you've got to have something with a little bit of sparkle on it.
Okay. All right, so to really tie in the whole outfit together, you need bling. We've already talked about that with the belts. Now, what about the jewelry? Everything is so big here and flashy.
Yeah, they say it's big in Texas, but everything here is big and shiny and flashy and exotic looking. We've got some Zebra, kind of turquoise, silvery, shiny stuff. Lots of charms. Charms are definitely a big thing this year. Crosses, boots, spur rowels, fleur-de-lis. This is the look this year.
All right, and we have an example over here.
Yes.
Austin.
Austin.
So Austin, what are you wearing here?
I'm wearing a large turquoise cross with a turquoise neck piece. And this one hangs a little lower. Some of them are more of a choker, but this one's a little longer.
Now, does it matter if it's tighter up as a choker, or is it more fashionable to have it looser?
I think the longer look is in, the longer hanging type cross look.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, now that we've covered the whole attire, what are you going to dress me in?
Oh, it's going to be good.
All right, well, let's see. Now that we have finished looking at all the attire here at Rogers, I'm going to meet up with Chancey, who's going to style me. So, Chancey, what are we going to style me with?
Okay, so we're going to put you in a couple hats, we're going to put you in a couple pair of pants, a nice shirt, a belt that accents both, and we're going to put you in some cool boots.
All right, let's go find this.
Okay.
Lord have mercy, baby's got her blue jeans on.
Now that I'm in my Western attire, Chancey, tell me why you chose this whole ensemble.
Okay, well, I chose the shirt because it's actually one of our new shirts that we just got in. It's a really great fashion look right now, and you can match pretty much anything with it. I took the belt. A belt has a lot of different colors in it right now. It's got a lot of pink, a lot of green, a lot of blue, so it kind of matches with everything. Your jeans, Crew Girls, really cute, go with everything. And the boots actually are new too. They're Farinis, and they're a print now, and everybody loves them, so we just kind of threw that together along with the palm, which is really in style right now with that look, and it all goes really well together.
All right, well, thank you. That concludes our visit to Rogers Cowboy Supply. If you guys are gearing up for the Reno Rodeo, want to purchase any Western supplies or attire, come down here off of
Audie Boulevard. We're 2252 Audie Boulevard in Sparks. We're on the north side of Audie between El Rancho and Sullivan. Or you can go down to the store at the El Dorado Casino. That's on the corner of 4th and Virginia, down on the casino floor. Or you can visit us at the Reno Rodeo itself in the South Exhibit Hall.
Well, thank you. We enjoyed our time here.
Thanks very much.